Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome to episode 70 of the San Marino Challenge. Now today's episode is going to be a Champions League game against Benfica in the group stage. But first things first, I do have one note to go over. Once again, we're in planning to expand the stadium. Now, as you can see at the bottom here, it says, I'm pleased to announce that plans are afoot to expand our stadium. The planned expansion, subject to approval, will increase the stadium capacity to a provisional capacity of 30,954 and will cost in the region of £13.75 million. And the construction work will begin at the end of the season. And essentially will be completed by September the following year. So that's not too bad. A little under a year for the work to be carried out, which I think is pretty good. Also not too expensive either. And essentially gets us to about 31,000 attendance capacity. I assume we'd probably be selling that out as well. But yeah, anyway, let's get into the league table here. As you can see, we are currently in first position. 8 wins, 3 draws, 0 losses so far in Serie A. Pretty impressive record. Once again, we're going to try and be invincible in the league this season. On 27 points. The draws, one or two of the draws have been really disappointing. But overall, we're doing pretty well, as you would kind of expect. Of course, recent season success. 3 in a row. Considering that, I think we're probably a shoo-in. I don't want to jinx it, but I think we're well established in the league now to assert our dominance. And I'm going to try and shift the focus to the Champions League more than anything because I would love to win it. It's one of the goals for the series, albeit only for the football club team, the Calcio team. But yeah, it's definitely the goal, and it's probably the next goal we're going to head towards. We're probably going to need to strengthen the squad even further. We've got the money to do it, 272 million in the bank balance. But yeah, obviously we need to continue to expand the stadium, and obviously youth facilities and training facilities are going to be the first priority when it comes to that. Anyway, let's get into the fixtures here. Of course, the previous episode was the pretty decent start to the season, 3-0 victory over Palermo. We followed it up with a disappointing 0-0 draw, albeit it was a clean sheet, but yeah, we just didn't really look like we were going to score in this game. And yeah, we didn't. Kept the clean sheet, like I said, but not good enough, really. We followed that up with a 2-0 victory over AC Milan. Formato in the second minute and Chanplat just before half-time. The next game was a difficult result to take. Honestly, a 5-5 draw against Bologna. As you can see, 2 of their goals, one came from this guy in the 86th minute, and then their equaliser, their 5th goal, was in the 95th minute of 4-minute stoppage time. So, absolutely brutal. Obviously, the stoppage time was finished. It was over. The referee didn't blow his whistle. They score literally with the last kick of the game. And yeah, we share the points. Horrible stuff. Horrible result to take, especially early in on the season when you're really looking to start off, all guns firing. The next game was the 3-0 victory over Club Brugge in the Champions League. Viviani, Antonio, and Albani on the score sheet there. Albani with a late goal of her own. We then managed to beat Torino. Another late goal, this time from Chanplat, so probably a little bit lucky to actually get the result here. We followed that up with a 1-1 draw against Sassuolo. As you can see, Chanplat opened the scoring for us, and they got a goal in the 90th minute. Another late goal, this time against us. So, yeah, it's been back and forth in terms of the late goals. Obviously, coming in clutch for us sometimes, and then other times essentially taking 2 points away from us. The next game, however, was a 6-1 victory over Lazio. Really impressive result. Yusufi with a brace, Champallat with a brace as well. And then we have Michelotti and Formato on the score sheet for us. Disappointingly, we actually lost the next game, 1-0 to Celtic at Celtic Park. And 1-0 loss, but this guy was their goal scorer. Very, very talented Kosovian striker. Really good stats on him. Celtic bought him from Palace for £14 million, which is a bit of a bargain. And that he's pretty lethal, we'll say that. We did bounce back in the next game, however, against Inter Milan. Antonio got an equaliser in the 4th minute, and then Yusufi put us up 2-1 after they opened the scoring in the 2nd minute. So pretty disappointing to concede that early, but good to see that we managed to come back. They had Kovacic get sent off there as well. We then managed to batter Napoli 4-1. Pretty impressive result here. Formato with a hat-trick, and Viviani also on the score sheet there. We then managed to beat Benfica, of course, today's opponents, away from home. Viviani opened the scoring, and then Formato managed to get a brace there as well. Good stuff from him. Sort of finding his form of, past seasons. The next game was a 2-0 victory at home against Spal. Formato again with another brace. And they also had a player sent off in the 78th minute. And the final game just played was a 4-2 victory away from home against Atalanta. Michelotti opened the scoring. Viviani then got a brace. One of his goals actually came in the 86th minute. And finally, Antonio was our last goal scorer. And yeah, that's pretty much all the fixtures there. I do actually have a couple of fixtures to go over with the national team. Not too many to go over. But yeah, we basically had our biggest ever win. So we have the Norway game here. We lost 1-0 to Norway. It's a respectable result considering Norway are probably the strongest team in the group. However, the next game, we managed to beat Denmark 2-1 at home. Cheli and Siaki, or Chiaki, I'm not really too sure how you pronounce it. But yeah, they were the goal scorers. 2-1 victory, essentially knocking us up to 173rd in the world, which is it's pretty special. It's up there. It's definitely up there. We've got a couple more games to go in terms of the qualifying. As you can see here, we might even... No, we don't. So we're up to our last 2 games, Bulgaria and Armenia. And as you would kind of expect, we're pretty much at the bottom of the table. As you can see, we do have 7 points. So we're probably not going to finish below Armenia in 6th place. Which I think is progress, and it's sort of at least what I wanted. I thought Armenia would probably beat us in terms of the positions, but at the moment, if we can get a result against Armenia, I think that will obviously solidify us in 5th position in the World Cup qualifiers. So, good stuff in terms of the national team. Like I said, biggest ever win, 2-1 victory over Denmark. Anyway, let's get into today's big game against Benfica. Essentially, this game is to see who will top the group. Celtic is still a bit of a chance. They beat us, so that obviously helps their cause. But we're currently in 1st in the group. Benfica are obviously in 2nd, followed by Celtic, and then Brugge in last, of course. So yeah, today's lineup is going to be Ingvarsen in goals, Antonio at right back, Ivan and Squizzato will be the 2 centre-backs today. Nesic will be the left back. Novi, a little bit lacking in match condition, but he'll be sitting as the defensive midfielder. Unfortunately, Nolascoigne has picked up an injury, and he'll be out for at least, I think, 4 to 5 weeks. We're then going to go with Yusufi on the right wing, Formato on the left wing, with Dalson and Viviani sitting as the 2 centre mids, and then Champilat will be up front. The bench today is going to be Bernardi, Vicini, Michelotti, Britos, Vitek, just back from injury, which is good to see. Schmidt and Albani, of course, only the 7-man bench today. But yeah, looking for a big home victory against Benfica. They got some really good players. I'm actually looking at one of their centre-backs, who does have a pretty high release clause, but I feel like it's a bit of a bargain considering he's a world-class player. I don't really want to mention it too much because I've already tried to put in offers for him, and he basically says that San Marino's stature in the game is too low. So I'm guessing our reputation is not good enough for his ambitions. I'm obviously going to keep trying because that can change. But 47.5 million is his release clause, and yeah, he's the type of player that you're probably looking at paying. Oh, really, Antonio? Antonio picks up a red card. And we don't have any right backs. The only option we have is to swap Yusufi and then bring Vitek on for Novi. It's literally our only option. And obviously that's 7 minutes in. Like, that's just going to ruin this whole game for us now. Anyway, back to what I was saying. World-class player. Chelsea, United, and I think Man City are also interested in signing him. So it's got me worried, especially the fact that he's refused to speak contracts with us twice now. I've had 2 offers accepted, obviously, because of the release clause, but yeah, he's refusing to come at the moment, and I'm just worried that one of those bigger teams is going to swoop in and get themselves a world-class player for essentially half of what they would probably normally pay for him. So, yeah. 1-0 to Benfica. Great. Although it might be offside. Probably not. It didn't really look too bad, if I'm being honest. He looked like he was on the last man and then pulled away. Either way, we're probably going to lose this game. And there we go. Goal is upheld. And we are 1-0 down. Disappointing. Just Antonio, like, just a brain snap from him. Gets sent off. Essentially makes this game, well, worthless to an extent. Having to play with 10 men for 83 minutes plus is, especially against a team like Benfica, because Benfica, another one. It looked like it was outside the box, but it's just frustrating. We just seem to be not playing in the manner that we should be, especially at home. We just look like the weaker of the two teams, which is, I don't really think it's the case. I mean, they have, like, you know, a few arguable world-class... I thought that was second yellow. I almost freaked out then for a second. Yeah, they got a few world-class, or possible world-class players, but then again, so do we. So, I don't know. It's a weird one. They only had the one shot on target, and they've got the one goal, which is, again, also pretty demoralising, considering we've had quite a few shots on target. And, yeah, we haven't done anything of note. And they're dominating possession now as well. As you would expect, but we better ease our players off. I don't want to go down to 9 men. I really don't want that to happen. I suppose in a way it's pretty good for Vitek because, well, he's on a 6.3, which is dreadful. However, he needs match fitness. And we're picking up so many yellow cards right now. Come on, boys. Just over the bar, off the short corner there. Gonna have to ease Ivan off the tackles as well. Yeah, just not the game that I was expecting, if I'm being honest. We get another yellow card. It's getting a bit ridiculous now. Probably on the verge of having a player sent off here. Gonna bring Schmidt on. I guess we may as well bring Britos on as well. Just gonna make these guys tackle harder. Just hope and pray that they'll be able to tackle the ball off a Benfica player and push him forward. I mean, Nesic has picked up a yellow card there as well. And it looks like we're going to lose 1-0, which I think is a pretty unfair result, if I'm being honest. I mean, we do... Oh, Valsen. I thought he was about to get sent off then. Yeah, we had a player sent off, but just the sheer fact that it happened in the 7th minute just ruins the entire game. They had 3 shots on target, and they scored a goal. We have, what? I don't even know how many shots we had. 6 or something? 6 shots for 6 shots with no goals is it's just sad. Let's fine Antonio 2 weeks there. Straight red card, and he accepts that, which is... He's lucky he did accept it, to be fair. And just before we end the episode, guys, I'm going to delete this note so we can start fresh. And of course, I'll keep up to date with anything that does happen in the future. Yeah, not the result that we wanted today, but if you could drop a like, it'd be much appreciated. Again, subscribe as well if you haven't already. Getting really close to 1k subs. I know a lot of you guys have been subscribing recently. I've gotten a lot of new subs, and some people are commenting on the videos, which is nice to see as well. And of course, I do respond to each and every comment. So yeah, guys, see you in the next episode. Might do an international episode, possibly in the future. Probably not for either of these two games, as they're sort of pointless. And I'm kind of testing out a few new players in the national team at the moment. Just sort of, it's hard because the players are so dreadful that I'm having to just recycle and just try and find like a little gem here and there that's, you know, only slightly better than the other rubbish that we have in the first team or in the national team. So yeah, maybe a national team episode coming soon. And apart from that, guys, take it easy and goodbye.